Good afternoon again, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. And we're getting back to the JRC, but first, the disclaimers and the trigger warnings. If you're unfamiliar with the Stop the Shocks campaign or the campaign against the troubled teen industry, pertinent links are going to be there in the description box for you, which what I hope for going to be some helpful labels. So if you want to deep dive the Judge Rootberg Educational Center on your own, you are definitely welcome to do so. I highly recommend the link to Autistic Hoya's massive archive on the subject, which has just about everything in regards to the JRC case, going all the way back to the 70s when Dr. Matthew Israel, the founder, was banned from being able to have a school or practice medicine in the state of California. And of course, we do recommend the article by Neuroclastic with the survey of over 800 ABA professionals in regards to the JRC so-called behavior modification program, especially since the JRC threatened Neuroclastic with a defamation lawsuit over it if they didn't remove it from their website. That means they don't want you to read it, which means you should, so please do so and share on all your social media. We do, of course, as always, have their GoFundMe up, just in case the JRC actually sees through their threat. Anything you can contribute, or if you could just share it, I know that they would appreciate it, because unlike the JRC, we do not have access, more's the pity, to unlimited Benjamins. Alright? No one would know if I did, because I'd either be on a beach with my cat, with, like, massive book piled high on each side of me, or my butt would be in the news, probably getting arrested in front of the JRC. Because I don't have a filter. I also don't always realize exactly what volume I am speaking at. And apparently I get really loud. Alright, folks, so where we left off, the Center for Devices and Radiological Health, the CDRH, recognizes that it takes many people to evaluate and communicate the benefits and risks of medical devices. Oh, hell no. You are not going to be dragging in poor radiologists to excuse your bad shit insanity. The types of devices that they deal with, the only similarity they may have with GED is the fact that they both run on electricity. And that's pretty much where it ends. They do x-rays. They study x-rays. Their job is to be bone specialists. It has absolutely nothing to do with what you all get up to behind closed doors. Could somebody take the crack pipe out of the hand of the poor individual who's forced to retype this every few years? For the love of God, man. Let me continue. However, only patients and their caregivers who have lived with their medical conditions and use medical devices understand the factors that impact their healthcare choices, and patients' perspectives are critical to understanding the impact of medical devices on their daily lives. First off, oh hell no. No. You are not dragging radiologists into your insanity. Hell no. You see, my mom works in that kind of department. Okay? So let me give you some education, JRC, shall I? When individuals like my mom are talking about medical conditions, we're talking about individuals who come through the ER with broken bones, cracked bones, people with broken cartilage, Let me really clear this up. One infamous incident, and it's infamous because Mom decided to tell this story while we were all eating spaghetti for dinner one night. An individual had somehow managed, in a way that I am still just morbidly curious on how that was even able to be possible, with a push mower lawnmower blade, one of the blades stuck in his skull. Okay? What my mom's job was to x-ray the damage and help the doctors study the impact, what things could be done surgically to be able to safely remove the blade while the person still manages to live afterwards. So her job would be to take all the beginning x-rays and to also use it to help guide the doctor in regards to surgery. Essentially wielding the x-ray machine while the doctor is performing the remover surgery to get the blade out of the patient's skull. Okay? That is the type of treatment that radiologists would speak on. Okay? In regards to use of medical devices, anything that they would recommend would deal specifically in the assistance of helping the bones that had been impacted to heal and for the patient to recover. We're talking about something that the JRC has no idea about. Okay? The types of devices they may be referencing literally has to specifically do with helping heal, set, and fix bones in place. If you had to do stilts, such as like in the kneecaps, different medical devices that may be needed during like such thing as knee replacements. Those are the types of medical devices that radiologists would be referencing in that type of situation. And patients' perspectives being critical, let me explain the difference there too. Regards to people who do my mom's type of job, just explaining what overall happened to cause the injury could provide vital information in helping them save the bone. Alright? The difference is, she actually listens to her patients. She allows them to speak. There will never be a point in time at my mom's job where she's ever going to look at an individual and say, no speaking out. Alright? You, JRC, do not allow your students to have their own perspectives. Okay? And when they do, and they come out against you, oh, they're just angry and bitter because it didn't work. Funny you say that. Didn't you actually try that hammer in our heads? It's the only thing that doesn't work. If your device is so miraculous and provides such a better quality of life, what would they have to be angry over, JRC? If this is so revolutionary and cutting edge in treatment of those particular behaviors, why would they be angry at you because it didn't work? Weren't you the ones telling us it was the only thing that does? Because that's that area where you all essentially open your mouths and insert foot. Because you're contradicting yourself. Multiple times. All the time. But only, what the JRC is saying here, that only we and the parents that agree with us should be able to understand the impact of this device on their children. Now, that is not how it works. Not only have I worked within the service system, I've also been literally surrounded by the medical model my whole life. Okay? From before I could talk or walk. You understand what I'm saying to you, JRC? Before I could even walk or talk. Okay? Good. I'm glad you're willing to hear me on that one. When dealing with the medical model, that is a lie. Just because an individual is just taking a look at a particular patient's medical file does not mean, after reviewing said file and speaking with a patient, that they are unable to get a grasp of what's going on. Because no. We all understand there's more than one specialist on any given area within the medical model, yes? Which means if I took the medical file of one of your students, an individual within the medical model that had a good understanding of not just the diagnosis of autism, but for those of us who do have SIB and AB, if that is something that they specialize in, yeah, okay, they're also going to have a valid opinion in regards to the overall treatment program. In fact, I actually champion having more than one doctor to deal specifically with your medical file for that reason, because they're all coming from different perspectives. Now, one doctor may find something that another one doesn't. And I've made sure through waivers that all the people on my team have active communication with one another and active open communication with me all the time. Okay? To sit there in the JRC saying only we, the doctors, and the Kool-Aid drinking parents know what's best for these kids is the exact same line a lot of abusive parents have used over the years. You essentially are trying to say, in a roundabout word salad kind of way, the exact defense a lot of abusive parents do. The only thing they understand is violence. Okay? And just because you throw in some sciencey sounding terms here and there, and because you throw together a like 55-page word salad that would make even Elaine Brednoff sigh and utter defeat, for not being able to beat your word salad skills doesn't change exactly what it is you're really saying. You can't sit there and tell me with your full chest that if somebody reviewed the medical file of one of your students that was one of your equals within the field of the medical model, that they wouldn't have a good grasp of what it is that they were taking a look at. Because you're in a similar field. It's their expertise too, Karen. And you can't just sit there and say, well, they don't understand, they hate Aversives, they campaign against them. Oh my God, the rest of the medical model campaigns against your insane shit. So I'm either supposed to believe that somehow the JRC is a murder, or the JRC is batshit insane, and the medical model looks at them as an embarrassment at the very least, and an ever-living nightmare horror that a lot within the medical model have been working alongside us to close because they have this thing called a conscience. We're going to go ahead and close out on that one, folks, because just ridiculous. Before I do, JRC, keep the names of good radiologists and radiology techs the hell out of your mouth. Even better, stop lying to others in regards to what it is they do and what they are referencing when making statements like that. Context is king. When you leave it out, you can totally skew and try to change the narrative. Unfortunately, you have individuals like me around who kind of just live to rain on your parade. Don't worry, JRC. I'm going to be here to annoy you and keep shoving the mirror in front of your face and exposing you for the evil bastards that you are for a long time yet. We're going to go ahead and close on that one, folks. We don't get very many views on this channel, and the few we do get tend to get removed from time to time. So if you would be so kind, please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe. Please don't forget to hit the comments. I do appreciate your time, and as always, folks, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. Now, if y'all would excuse me, it is almost 6 o'clock. And the hunger is very real. So I am going to fix me up some food. I will see you all next time. Bye-bye, everyone.